Good morning, good evening, Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Bridge Across New York, season two. In this particular scene, Havaka is moving through the city of New York, following a precarious seashell point and kind of shifting and bobbing in certain directions, looking for not a direct kin, but a distant kin of his, the Wendigo cub Marisol, making sure that she's okay and that she's with her extended family within the city. He hasn't spoken to them in quite some time. Actually, he hasn't spoken to them since the early days of ever coming to New York. But with the things getting more intense with Vasily, he feels that it's best to get as many friends as possible to help defend against this particular threat. And falls a stone to hopefully to the den of the Wendigo.
They told him to look for her in the Umbra, and if he does so,
Mm-hmm.
the uh, the stone takes him um, out quite a ways out of away from the park, out to Long Island, um, and to the Umbra reflection of a park on Long Island. It is quiet this time of day. Let's see. Hang on. Let me grab the map. I think you can hear the water because I think it's right on the water. Player copy. Um, the River State Park Preserve, the Umbra reflection of it. Um, and yeah, it's right on the water, so he can hear the water. Here in the Umbra, it's quiet, and there are birds in the rushes. Um, he's met Marisol before, right? They met.
Yes.
Um,
Hasn't met her since the literally the time she arrived on the set. So if she has
okay.
changed her look, he's not aware.
Um, is he in Hamid or Lupus?
If since he's in the Umbra, he would be in Lupus just for faster travel
Okay, sure,
and just
absolutely.
keep the stone in his jowls.
Mm-hmm. Um, roll me a perception alertness. Oops, I didn't set us up. What'd you name it?
Well, da-da-da-da-da. I named it wrong button. I almost clicked on the werewolf scene button. Uh, brother to brother.
Okay. Oops, that's not a T. Okay, there we go. Roll your perception alertness.
Yeah, good.
Nice. Okay. As you enter the park, as you step out of the weaver shadow of the buildings, you start to realize that you think you might be being followed. You occasionally hear tiny noises off to the side, the woods in the sides of you. Um, After traveling, maybe like a mile into the park, you realize that you're pretty sure that it's on both sides of you, that there is movement. Um, what does Havika do?
When he feels that he's being watched, he kind of perks up his ear, shifting, feeling where, kind of filling out the noises of the sound where they might be at. And
Mm-hmm.
once he feels he put himself in a space where he has enough room to move if they do attack him. He'll kind of just let the stone drop and
Mm-hmm.
get into a sitting position on his paws, and will howl a bit and and what's the word I'm looking for? An arrival, yeah.
Okay, sure, absolutely. Um, as soon as he howls, like as soon as he howls, like only seconds after the last note leaves him, Marisol comes bounding out of the trees in wolf form. She's big and looking healthy. She's been eating well on Sept, and her coat is glossy, and there's laughter in her eyes. And she obviously has been like holding herself back if she's been one of the ones following him. So she comes leaping out of the bushes and comes to sniff him and generally say hi in the nonverbal wolf tongue. When she gets close, she like rolls over on her back and bares her throat, but there's a puppy's energy in it.
He kind of um, rubs her bit of her side of her face and her shoulder with his snout, the and kind of gets the gesture for her to stand
Mhm.
or be on her feet, not stand. Be on.
Sure, sure. She does. And roll your perception alertness again.
Mm-hmm.
Diff 4.
Yes, I forgot last time.
Should probably be diff 3 since you're actively looking for it. We'll say diff 3.
Oh, okay. Nah, I thought you were just doing that because I forgot to put -2 on the first roll.
Oh,
It still would have been 4 successes either way.
yeah. Yeah. So, while she's performing her introductions, you scan the bushes because you definitely were pretty sure that was more than one. And right about the time she's rolling to her feet, you spot two others in the dry brush around you. Neither one of them comes forward yet. They're just watching this exchange. One of them is another very large white wolf, almost pure white, and the other is the grayer brown wolf in the picture. And once they realize that you've spotted them, they move together with the fluidity of people used to working as a pack to come and sniff at Habakkuk.
Um, as he kind of begins like one eye watching the one eye, keeping an eye on Marisol, and in the mother's tongue, he says, "I'm glad that you could find them."
Did he say that to Marisol? Or did
Yeah.
I? They found me.
Internally, he's like, "Yeah, I should expect it so." And he'll begin looking over, kind of focusing more on the two other wolves, and kind of gauging their reaction to him, see if they how they respond to his presence. If pure breed gets into play, I technically have two.
Okay. Wait, you have two?
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's right. Your father was a Shadow Lord, but your mother was Noctena. Okay, I gotcha. That's right. Um, the one that is all white is also has quite a bit of pure breed. Not as much as Marisol, but you can feel the air around them both kind of seems colder, even if there's not actually any chill to it. And but it's the other one who speaks up and says, "Greetings, older brother."
Havika inclines his head. Says, "Greetings, younger brother. It's been long since we've talked."
And how is New York treating you?
New York treats me fine. It's the denizens that are a problem.
Oh,
You haven't heard what's been happening at the Scepter of the Green.
the other one speaks up and says, "I heard your mate was taken."
Yeah, she was. There's been a Ronin that has been oddly effective despite his loss of honor and resources. So
A
I'm glad,
shame.
indeed, I'm glad he hasn't sent his eyes over here.
Well, you're not friendly with the eyes of others.
And there's a little nod at his head.
I understand he's made use of the Korax.
Abused them, yes.
Abused them. What do you mean?
Sad. Blackmail, threats of violence.
Their ears kind of lay back.
He's already killed a few of them once they proved their usefulness has been over. And there's a moment of hesitation remembering the site. And his subordinate has been experimenting on them.
War is no place for the Korax.
Mm.
If they left well enough alone, they wouldn't suffer as much.
Korax aren't us. They're not meant to fight, they're meant to run. But when they have nowhere else to run, they only have so many options for survival's sake.
Mm. Well, we're pleased to see you again. And glad you're doing well.
I'm doing better, but I wouldn't say that I'm being well. My nights are haunted by these actions of late.
Oh? Maybe it would do you good to get out of the scar.
I am too invested within the Sept. They rely on me, and the Ronin must pay for what he did. I cannot, I cannot avoid this task. I must meet it head on.
The brown wolf, her ears lay back even further, and she glances at Marisol, who has kind of flopped down and is watching this whole thing, curled in a ball with her nose on her hind foot. And the gray wolf says, "She's become too invested as well.
Mm.
The city is poisoning our sister."
Forgive me for not giving her to you sooner. I was not aware when they found her.
We came as soon as we could. Mother Larissa is no enemy of ours, and the right master for Bonar makes an attempt. She's not tainted, but we've been arguing for several days about taking her north to train. Marisol kind of tucks her nose under her tail, like she's pretending she's not there.
Oh, Atlas shifts his head, his ears kind of twitching at her direction. She is wolf-born. I said, the ways of the the ways of the great northern wind are going to be alien to her.
They don't share a look, but you're pretty sure that they share a pack link, because they both go quite still for a moment as though they're discussing something between them. Neither one looks particularly happy about it. The white one says, "We will not lose a sister to this city."
And Havika nods his head, very, very respectfully and understandingly. I would expect nothing less.
They both turn and look at Marisol, and she flattens her ears and tries to look smaller.
I know your ways are more fierce than others, but do not forget, she is young and she is ignorant right now.
Ignorance can grow. It is one of those human foolishnesses that can be made worse by teaching.
And again he nods. Said, "Please, just do not forget." Said, "The harsh hand is not always the best hand."
The white one kind of, it doesn't growl, but it's a snarl kind of ripples across its lips, but it doesn't say anything. He doesn't say anything.
Yeah, Havika's eyes and ears kind of roll back a little bit, feeling that he has offended him, but they relax a little bit, and he will say, "I only do my duty as older brother and make sure that the option is available. It's up to you to decide it."
You're also a Philodox.
I am.
And pleased elder brother is represented by a Philodox in New York.
There was there was a theurge as well, but she had to move on.
It happens often.
Unfortunately so. Outside of me and a few others with Losan, we are all that's left within the city.
So I've heard. I cannot blame anyone who decides to leave the city. The scar. It's not easy on either the heart or the body.
It is not. But we should be where. And there's another moment of hesitation of kind of thinking over his words, but he continues. We should be where the worm breeds so we can combat it. We cannot always, unfortunately, stay in Grandmother Smoke's presence.
If one is worried a bear will take your territory, you do not den with it.
But one should not wait for the infestation to spread out onto healthy areas. You should go where it is and cut it from the body.
Havika gets the sense that they're arguing with one another. This time they do look at one another several times, and their body language seems stiff and wary. As he definitely gets the sense that he's missing an argument. And eventually, the white one, the Philodox, looks away first. The gray one says, "We haven't decided if Marisol will come back with us."
She should be with her people and know its history.
I agree, says the white one.
And she is Wolfborn. She does not need to be attached to the mortal world, but she should be aware of it. So then when the time comes, be able to move in it when she needs to. But we don't need to rush her to understand how the mortals work.
Havuka hears Marrow Salt shifting behind him. When he glances back, if he glances back, he finds her glaring kind of lugubriously at him. Like, thought you were on my side, Havuka.
Yeah, he has kind of a small a look of a wolf can be exasperated,
That's fair.
and he will kind of turn his head more directly to Marisol and saying that we all have our duty. It's not all fun and games.
Very little of it is fun and games. But it
Nor
doesn't have to be suffering, the gray one says to Marrow Salt, and Marrow Salt looks rebellious.
I understand if I assume what they did is give you tasty human food. The world is not tasty human food, nor should you spoil yourself on it. Enjoy it if you have the opportunity, but it's best to hunt your food.
She doesn't respond, probably because she'll lose that argument.
So, and he'll look over back to the two other wolves. When she is of age and she's understanding, she has the right to make her own decisions. But for now, she needs to learn.
I agree with you, says the Philodox.
But I came here more than to make sure that my kin is safe. I wish for assistance.
Oh? The
All right.
Theurge says, what do you need?
I will not ask of you this to join us in our fight to deal with this Ronin. It is not your fight to be in if you don't wish to be, nor are you obligated. But if you could help me teach me ways to be able to find the enemies where they lurk in the shadows, and to confuse them when I can, I'd be much appreciated.
You wish to learn gifts. Our gifts.
There is another pause. Not like he was trying to hide it very well, but still being called out like that is still being called out. And he says, yes.
The Philodox just kind of drops down to lay down like in the picture, leaving this conversation to the Theurge, who studies Havuka intently, like she's debating with herself. The Uktena do not have the ways you seek.
My ways are limited. Said a option that has an option that has many paths allows me to furthermore confuse my enemies. And to be honest, for my own shame, I have avoided my brethren long enough, and I should know our people's ways from every aspect, not just simply from the serpent, but from the wind as well.
You're a man of many people.
And another hesitation. You noticed.
I've heard. If all of your many people cannot find you the answers you seek, perhaps Great Wendigo should not indulge you.
I come from many backgrounds, but some don't bear fruit. I come forth to the traditions, knowing that their path is steady and true.
So you wish to learn what it is you do not know. You wish to be a student of Wendigo.
Yes, I do. Despite how people fear Wendigo, Wendigo is. And he pauses a moment for the kind of think of the right words and says, Wendigo is brutal but fair. He is instinct, he is hunger, but he's not malicious. He simply is.
I think that's a kind thing to say.
The Wormcomers, through their perspective of our tales, see the Wendigo as nothing more than a curse upon eating thy own flesh. But Wendigo is more than that. Even I know that.
Yes. Yes, we do.
And despite what many people think Wendigo is a vicious monster, he is more cunning than they expect him to be. I've seen it.
And
He
what do you offer Wendigo?
Son, what I offer Wendigo is what I know. I know the secrets of Octena, and and as we can both agree, there are things that the other tribes do not need to know, but there are things that are I am willing to share.
Wendigo has what he needs. Wendigo's children have what they need. And if they do not, it's the Philodox speaking, and as he speaks, Havica, you see the Theurge going quieter and quieter. She does not look particularly pleased by this answer. He says if Wendigo's children do not have what they need, then they have left the sacred ground and have chosen to dwell within the scar. Wendigo has no need of Octena's secrets.
Mm.
This trait has never been amenable.
He frowns at that with a wolfy sense of disappointment and almost mild confusion, and he states, "He said, from our perspective, because there are many times I wish Wendigo would take what we were willing to give them.
Perhaps that is why Wendigo will not take what you are willing to give.
And he thinks on his words, watching them carefully. He knows that he's treaded on sensitive ground at this point.
Neither one of them looks offended by him. He can definitely tell that there's some disagreement between them. That they're, for the most part, keeping to themselves. But neither of them looks like he has offended them.
Please,
Sorry, go ahead.
do not think I'm coming here in the greed of our tendencies. Do not see me as a hoarder of knowledge and secrets. I come here, said, as family and as a friend. I know Wendigo's power is great, said, and true. More true at times than their tennis secrets can be. And I want the tools that I could use to help make sure that not only that I am safe, but my mate is safe.
Wendigo's power is great. It would not be great if it were not true. We do not learn gifts that are tricks, that are mere clevernesses. A gift for a gift does not aid Wendigo. There will have to be another price. The Theurge speaks up and says, "These gifts are for the spirits to teach. And Wendigo's children do not themselves speak for the spirits. The spirits can decide whether or not to teach. What you are asking for, I believe, is assistance convincing them."
He nods. I am not Wendigo, thus I do not know who I should speak to teach me the ways.
She says, "I will assist you with this." And as she says it, the white wolf snarls, just a low growl deep in his chest, and she ignores him. And she says, "I am sure you know that the price for learning will be steep, but I will assist you in this."
And he nods his head, but then looks to. It's the gray wolf that's protesting, right?
The big white wolf is the one, the Philodox, that's protesting.
Okay.
The smaller gray wolf is the Theurge, and she's the one who said basically that she'll speak to the spirits with you.
Yeah. Havika will look over to the white wolf and say, "Brother, why does this concern you?"
He, instead of answering Havika directly, he looks to the Theurge and says, "Walking fish, you are supposed to be the wise one. And yet you would give your secrets to an Uktena. This foolishness does not become you." And her hackles go up, and the two of them, like, stare at each other. He's still laying down, but his feet kind of gather under him, like he might get up any second. And for a second, you think that there might actually be some kind of physical contest between them. What does Havika do?
When he sees that, almost offended by that comment, he kind of more of kind of gets up on his from his sitting position on both of his on all his legs and say to the white wolf, And like we have always been covetous with our secrets, but when the situation is met and the price is paid, we always taunt.
An Uktena will give a secret to pay a price. You think that secrets can be bought and sold. My sister forgets that they cannot. They can only be given away. And never taken back.
Do you punish the trap? Do you punish the traveler to buy a map from the local market to make sure he knows where he goes?
Sorry, say that again. Do you what?
So do you punish the traveler that buys the map from the local market?
Only if he sets foot where he should not be. If he has grown up in the land of his ancestors, he does not need a map. These things are anathema to Wendigo. Uktena will never understand.
Brother, if we further isolate ourselves, what left will be us. There's more of them and only a few of us. I am not saying that you should give me all that you know. I just want some minor assistance. I don't wish you for being this war. That's why I asked for gifts and rights that I could use.
If we do not isolate ourselves, there will be none of us. There will only be them. We will all be men of many countries. Our traditions lost and polluted. Our children raised among rats and pigeons. Instead of stars and caribou.
Literally, Havika is screaming, is like, yet again, we keep going in this argument over and over and over again. And it's not like they don't have a point. That's what makes it worse.
The gray wolf moves and kind of steps forward several paces and says, she's been watching Havika have this conversation. And she says, you know the danger. We'll speak to the spirits, and you can decide if you will pay the price.
Havika will look at the Grey Wolf in a respectful manner and show his neck, but he'll continue saying, I will not tread on the land that I am not wished to be. I will not tread on the land that I am not invited to be on. If I do not have your full consent from both parties, I will not involve myself. Enough people abuse their graces against us. I will not be another.
My brother does not speak for the spirits. And the Philodox gets to his feet. Sorry, all the birds just freaked out. The Philodox gets to his feet, kind of amused by that statement. Not necessarily offended, but like, I mean, she's right, but he doesn't like it.
He then looks over to the Philodox Havika, and then he says, "We are both Philodoxes. We are both keen of mind and sharp of wit. And might I suggest the challenge of gamecraft to earn my right to speak to the spirits."
He stares at Havika, and you can feel like the blood pulsing. Like it's so quiet. The birds have gone quiet. With 4 wolves hanging out, making noise. The birds have gone quiet. It almost feels like the wind has gone quiet while his better judgment fights against the strong temptation to take that challenge. What game do you propose?
Then I wish this to be a fair challenge. What skill are you strong at, and I will do my best, the best you at it.
The bow. The hunt.
When he says the bow, naturally there is a screeching in the back of his mind. Like, I have guns, and if I bring one out, they'll be really upset because I don't see that.
He said it pretty deliberate. Oh my god, my birds are so fucking cute. Oh, they're killing me. He said it pretty deliberately, like he's watching Havika, like, city boy.
He says, after a moment of contemplation, said, I know how to hunt. I may not be skilled with a bow, but I trust my instincts. Then I will accept your challenge.
And if you lose, you will not seek the gifts of the Wendigo?
If that is your price.
The Theurge turns to Philodox and says, this is an opportunity to teach. And you again get that sense that they are arguing with each other silently.
Probably telling them, man, those guys are always asking us for shit. Like,
We'll consider your request, the Theurge says, finally. And Havika gets the sense that she is almost smiling.
Havika will relax back into that sitting position instead of being on his legs.
If you were not a man of many countries, if you decided you were a man of this one, this land, it would be valuable to have your aid. If you could purify yourself and walk between the worlds, our world and the scar, without bringing the poison with you, perhaps it would be valuable. But to do that, you must know much more about purity.
He kind of just focuses on her and listening to the words that she's saying.
We may have to leave our sister in the scar to avoid having to chase her down when she runs away. We're promised to return her before a time of our own choosing. Perhaps you will come and learn with her.
He inclined his head.
And perhaps in doing so, you can satisfy my angry brother. The White Wolf, when she says that, like, all the things Havoc has said have not offended him. When she says that, the White Wolf is like, this bitch. And he just, like, heaves himself to his feet and vanishes into into the woods.
With that statement, Havik will kind of look over to Marisol, seeing how she is responding to this heated conversation.
She is watching all of it very, very intently. She's no longer tucked into a tiny ball. She's kind of like, if she had to get up in a second, she could. Um, and she's still trying to keep a low profile and watching all of this with some fascination.
Oh, excuse me. Havika will look over to Marisol and say, "Please don't let this upset you. This is honestly common for us."
The gray wolf is starting to laugh. She says, very, very common for us. It is a valuable lesson.
Well, when the time comes, I'll be ready. And it was nice to speak to you once again.
And to you.
And with that, he'll kind of go over to Marisol and kind of nuzzle at her face a little bit and say to her, "Then, you do well, okay?"
You too.
And he'll begin leaving.
Okay. They do not stop his progress. He's allowed to go. Though he is pretty sure he hears Marisol tracking him for quite some time, probably just for fun.
And with that, thank you players for playing. Thank you watchers for watching. Have a good morning, evening, or night.